you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Good afternoon on this beautiful Friday. It is Ryan Edwards with Maz. Joining me to the left isn't Ryan Ermanni. It happens to be my friend, the good, the great Anson Wells. Anson Wells, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm fantastic. How about you, my friend?
I can't complain, man. I'm feeling good. You know, I'm excited. I got a fresh braid, got a fresh cut today. So you know how
looking good.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I see my man's in the booth. Powerneck. What's going on, James? You see I dropped the James, man. I'm trying to drop the James getting towards the end of the summer. The season's here. You may no longer be an intern. You might have your stripes, sir. So I just say, James, how you doing, man? Pete Spivak, my man to the right, my right hand. How you feeling in there, sir?
All right, my friend. Are you ready for your trip around?
I am. I'm excited.
Good.
And as I get the time, Maz way excited. Always the resident Uncle Maz in the building. Maz, how you feeling?
I'm good, Brad. Good to see you and Anson and the boys are here. Let's have a good show. It's a Friday.
It is, and I hate that.
Beautiful day out.
Hate that I won't be the whole show, but Pete, you asked a question. I will be going to New York. It's becoming an annual thing. Every year I go to Jets camp for 1 or 2 days, sit there, watch the team, see what they're doing. I do some interviews. They have some of the old players come back. Damn, I'm an old player now. And then imagine how that got.
You don't look it, though.
Mark will be there. So I'm doing this interview with Mark Sanchez. They're kind of talking about this team.
Let's get him on the show next week.
100%. You know we've had him on before, so
Done.
I will get him on the show. But I'm excited to see Aaron Rodgers, because let's go there for 2 seconds.
Let's get him on the show.
He's still a new face. hey, you know what? He would potentially do.
You never know, man. You never know.
You just gotta ask.
You gotta ask.
that.
Sometimes you just gotta ask.
Tell him he lives in my sister's neighborhood. We won't bother
I
him.
definitely will. Just give me that address, and I'll tell
will.
you exactly what house
You
it
got
is.
it.
But Aaron Rodgers, I still consider a new face. You know, and it got me to thinking early on. Obviously, we'll talk about the Lions as they enter training camp day 3. Dan Campbell will talk to the media today, so we do have some cuts from him. A lot on the defense. I think that's the direction that I want to go in. But new faces. Aaron Rodgers, he's still a new face, Maz. He didn't really play last year, so he's new faces. Anson, I come to you first. Some of the new faces around the NFL, let's say old faces, new places. Kirk Cousins is in Atlanta. You look at Keenan Allen's going to be in Chicago. Saquon Barkley's in Philly. Aaron Rodgers, year 2, but year 1 really playing in New York. What are some of the old faces and new places that you're looking forward to seeing this season in the NFL?
Well, beyond the obvious of Aaron Rodgers, it's everybody's talking about that. So we'll skip over that. The Josh Jacobs one, for me, is very intriguing. This is a guy that really looked not good last year. 2 years ago, he led the league in rushing, and now he is a major part of the Packers' 2024 season that many experts are picking them to not only win the division, but make it to the Super Bowl. I think it's going to backfire for them, and I'm looking forward to that quite a bit because I hate the Packers. But the Kirk Cousins one, it doesn't affect us Detroit fans quite as directly as Josh Jacobs. But that one, he's a Spartan, so it's intriguing. But Michael Penix behind him is super intriguing. The entire amount of money with the new contract that they put in there. But he's got a lot of targets. I think that he's got at least 1 year in him. But it's kind of similar to what we're seeing in the NBA right now. It's the final washout of the old guard.
Yeah, Tom Masway, some other ones. Daniil Hunter, a guy that you want to hear to play opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. He and Stephon Diggs, they joined the Texans. Aaron Jones, somebody that one of your Packer guys.
Yep.
He's now with the Vikings, across rival in the division.
I like Carlton Davis over here with Detroit.
Sir.
And there you go.
That's the one I like, man. I'm looking forward to him. I think he's going to be one of the leaders on the secondary. A veteran guy in the playoffs with Tampa Bay. Didn't have his best year last year. He comes over. He's got almost like the veteran. Emmanuel Mosley is going to be there with him. Emmanuel Mosley's a great story.
E-Man, as they call him.
I'm telling you, man, this guy, I pray for him to stay healthy. I mean, he blew out both knees. That's it, man. That's enough. Enough injuries for Emmanuel Mosley. He's excited to be in Detroit. He's happy the Lions gave him another chance to be here. He wasn't able to do, what did he have, 1 play or 2 plays last year with us? And he went down. I'm looking forward to see what that secondary looks like. And then we got some sound from Dan Campbell on the young Bucks in that secondary. Pete, let's play that.
Okay, there you go. there.
There's an attitude that comes with playing defense, and
Mike's out.
Every good defense, you got to have that. There's got to be an aura about it. There's got to be you got to have something, and you can kind of feel that right now.
Yeah, in every defense, you do have to have that aura, and it seems like that's what they tried to build in the offseason. They know what the secondary was last year in the playoffs and at the end of the season, and they know how inconsistent the defensive line is. You add DJ Reader, you add Davenport, you add some more key players, and then you get some players back. And I think this year has been a developmental year in the offseason. Branch being one of those guys that they're going to develop and have back from injury.
Yeah, and he went into the rookie cornerbacks. That's the one I wanted to play for you.
Too, Tommy.
And here, that's the one we were looking for. Here we are.
The fact that Arnold would get up there and challenge, big, physical, pretty smart guy, just, time on task. He's got to learn. And Rakestraw's the same way. Rakestraw's pretty instinctive. He got our one takeaway yesterday, got a ball on the ground, which was great. So, look, those guys are a work in progress, but after 2 days and a spring, we like where they're at.
The thing I like about Dan Campbell at this podium, and I've said it time and time again, and I'm going to continue to say
How big is that podium, by the way?
He's a big guy.
That thing is huge.
Yeah, 100% pause on that one. But it's going to be interesting when you see Aaron Glenn at the podium. Yeah, he's a much smaller guy. So that's, I think, when you really get a chance to see how big that podium
That thing engulfs Dan Camp.
I'm going to leave you alone.
Last year he knocked the one down. That's why they went with the extra large Meyer one this year.
Yeah, they definitely want that Meyer podium. But he's always truthful at the podium. I think that's what you come to admire and appreciate. He's transparent. He doesn't blow smoke when it relates to any player. A lot of times you see these coaches, they'll get up there to that podium, and they'll get to talking about these rookies and say, oh, man, this guy's the greatest thing since sliced bread. You should see how fast he gets in and out of his breaks. This guy really could be special. Dan say, hey, look, man, they retain the things that we taught them in spring. They're still getting better, and it could be something there. I think that way you have an honest assessment, and you have an honest what you're expectation from these rookie players.
Yeah. 2 points for me. One, we talked before the show. I caught up on Hard Knocks, and watching their staff talk to the press, talk to people, and handle things, it was embarrassing. And then when you watch our guy, Dan Campbell, as well as Brad Holmes, the way that they speak to people in person, on the phone, at the podium, we are truly blessed as Lions fans to have this culture and admin completely flipped upside down from what we've experienced our entire lives. Now, the thing before it, you talked about the lore.
Yep.
And what the offense has created over this last 2 years is lore. Offensive line grind and pound you into submission lore. One of the top 5 wide receivers, best tight end in history for a rookie, and now a running game that goes right along with it. What we've never been able to establish so far with this current Detroit Lions team is defensive lore. And we had a real good run-stopping defense last year, but we got torched in our secondary. They have taken the steps between DJ Reader, between the off-season, mid-season signings in the secondary, and then doubling down in the draft. They have the potential to be a top 10, top 12 defense. And even better, I think. I think that if Jack Campbell can really light it up and be the player that he was drafted to be, this could be a top 8 defense. And now you're worrying about this defense. Now there is a lore to this defense. And I couldn't be more excited about that aspect. Talking about some things later on in this, Brian Branch, the moving around of guys, it's going to be scary for offensive.
No doubt.
It's a strong word, but you're right. If Jack Campbell could be anything near what they thought about him when they drafted him last year out of Iowa, then this defense couldn't be special. Part of the reason why this defense will be special is defensive line coach Tyrell Williams,
Tennessee,
the best defensive line coach. We got him in from Tennessee. Dan Campbell has some things to say about his good buddy and great defensive line coach.
Pads haven't come on yet, but have you seen any dividends paid by the Terrell Williams hire yet?
Well, yeah, I have already. But there again, without pads on, I don't want to go too far. I just know fundamentally I already feel a difference in what we're doing with our D-line. Where we're striking, our ability to shed is starting to show up, man. I feel like we're just these little things that we emphasize, that he's emphasizing are showing up. So, yeah, I do see it.
Hey, thanks to Al Karsten, our football guy, a good friend of the show, for that audio. But I loved when they got this guy, Terrell Williams. not only was the head coach of one of the Senior Bowl teams, but this is a guy Dan Campbell was friends with for a long time and coached under Mike Vrabel. He was Mike Vrabel's right-hand man. And to me, Mike Vrabel should be an NFL coach right now. I don't know. Took the year off. I don't know why he wasn't hired. I don't get it. But nonetheless, we move on. To have this guy added on with Aaron Glenn, it's just a different way, Bray, to attack with the defensive line. He's going to make these players that much better. You bring in DJ Reader, already a veteran. They're going to coach him up a little bit. But it's the guys like James Houston. Those are the guys, Josh Pascal. Those are the guys that are going to learn the most from this guy. And he chips in on the running game. He's the running game coordinator as well. It's just great. The coaching staff is second to none, if you ask me.
Yeah, the more you can do, and it definitely seems like Tyrell Williams can do a lot for this Detroit Lions team. You know, at the end of the day, Maz, when you have an offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, their job is to put the offense and defense in the best situation. It's to come up with the best scheme for the talent. It's to design the best plays. It's to see what we're going against in the opposition and make a game plan based off of that. The offensive coordinator can only do so much. A defensive coordinator can only do so much. So it's only so much that Aaron Glenn can do. Now he has the players. You look at the players that you talked about, the offseason acquisitions, and Amik Robinson, or whether it's Carlton Davis II that you talked about, Davenport, DJ Reader. Now you bring in a Tyrell Williams to coach up a DJ Reader, to coach up a Aiden Hutchinson, to be drill specific for their position. You mix great coaches with great offensive coordinators. Now you're getting the best of both worlds. Now you're talking Super Bowl.
And not only accomplished assistants and coordinators, but so many of these guys are former players where they're on the level with these guys. Now you already have a completely revolutionized culture here in Detroit. So they've seen what guys fit. I mean, Pleasant's gone. You know, there's some guys that they got pushed out, and they just keep bringing in these guys in the same vein.
Kudos to Dan Campbell for that.
What's that?
And kudos to Dan Campbell for that.
They haven't skipped a beat, despite the fact that they've had to get rid of a few coordinators. They have stayed in that same zone where it's guys that have practical experience, that guys that have had their hand down in the mud. That garners so much respect from players. We've seen ad nauseum, you know, the annual ritual of Dan Campbell doing up downs with the rest of the team. I'm watching a clip. We got a guy driving in on a four-wheeler a few years ago. You know, Matt Patricia was an embarrassment. When you look up and down this coaching staff, they not only have the respect of the players, but they have the respect of this city. And just the complete transparency up and down of this staff and this administration, it's just such a breath of fresh air, and it encourages it throughout the team, from the coaches to the players on down.
You were talking about Patricia rolling in a four-wheeler. If you go way back, don't forget in the late 90s. Don't forget, never Wayne. Wayne Fonts had his golf cart.
Bobby Ross with the
the motorcycle gang of Marty Morningweg and Matt Millen. You forget about those guys riding their Harleys.
Right.
Riding their Harleys. As a matter of fact, they heard a phone ring one time. I know a lot of people have heard this story. We're all at practice, and it's out in Saginaw Valley. And the rule is, hey, everyone shut their phones off, whatever. So a phone goes off, and these guys, that's it. They call off practice. They get on their Harleys, and they ride off into the sunset. I'll never forget it as long as I live. I mean, we all laughed. We're like, what the hell? And, of course, they failed.
100%.
Miserably.
Of course.
Laughing starts with L, just like losing, and that's what they were doing. Another thing that we would be remiss to say today, Tom Masaway, is your side of the ball, your actual position, the kicking game.
Oh, my.
Michael Badgley torn hamstring out for the season. This just came in about 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
Michael Badgley is out for the season after sustaining a leg injury at training camp. We now know it to be a torn hamstring, tore it off the bone, as they say. Now it gets interesting, because now you're left with an individual that never kicked in college, that never kicked when he was on the roster in the NFL, and I understand he's made a 62-yarder at Ford Field. He's never done that in front of 70,000 fans. He's never done that in front of the opposition. He's never done that in this space, even in college. So now are you worried that they got rid of James Turner from Michigan? Now you no longer have another guy if you don't necessarily trust this guy. It all sounded good when it was Money Badger and Big Leg Michigan Panthers. Now are you nervous?
What did I tell you from day one?
Keep 3.
I said keep him.
You did.
I said keep James Turner. They let him go to the Green Bay Packers. I don't know what he's going to do there against Anders Carlson. We'll see. But they are They are bringing kickers in as we speak. They're there all day today at Allen Park. They will have another kicker by the end of the day to compete with Big Lake Jake Bates.
I don't like how familiar this feels. This is something that we've been dealing with every year that these two guys have been in Detroit. Felt a lot different this offseason. You know, we bring in an undrafted free agent, a guy that we're familiar with here in Michigan. And then you go out and you get Big Leg Bates. But losing Badgley, a guy that had just that little scrap of confidence, because we know that Dan doesn't have any confidence in any kicker right now.
But he likes Badgley.
Well, and that's the thing, is he did like him enough to the point where you got a guy in Bates and you got a guy in Turner that he was not willing to go forward and say, we're hoping that this is the guy. Badgley was kept around despite their low confidence in him. So losing him is a little more of a blow than I think Detroit fans want to admit. But Big Leg Bates, he's been tested in real games, in professional atmosphere. I like bringing in a guy like that where you just don't know what that ceiling is, because it could be huge. At the same time, all the rest of the also-rans that they're going to be bringing through here, they're all on the same footing.
Yeah.
So I think at this point, you got to go forward with Bates, and if he doesn't work out by week 2, then you go through that pool of sub-talent that the NFL always supplies.
They're going to go on fourth down a lot. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
But you do need a guy to kick you extra points. And you do need a guy that you could depend on just in case it's 4th and 9 and you need a 45-yarder or a 40-yarder.
Yeah.
You got to depend on him.
So let me ask you guys both a question here. We've always talked about this last season and the fact that we went for so much on 4th down and didn't take kicks when they were there because of our lack of confidence in our kicker. But I think it's twofold. It was not only that, but it was also a lack of confidence in our defense. So despite not having an upgraded kicker now, we clearly have an upgrade at our defense. So I'm curious, if we had a kicker that we had a lot of confidence in here in Detroit, or even going in with Bates, do we kick it a little bit more and trust in our defense?
No, I think Dan Campbell is very confident in who he is in terms of going forward on 4th down, going forward in terms of knowing the yards, additions. What does he think? The defense will be revamped. I think they might even go for more nowadays because the offense has gotten better. They believe the defense to be better. You want to have good kickers. You want to have an option too. And then sometimes with these things, when you start training camp, you got a lot of these guys that aren't on teams, so they're kind of in the same pool of guys that can kick a little bit, maybe not. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you're lucky in those pool of kickers, man. Like sometimes you get guys that are in the right time, the right frame of mind, and they're just the right guy for the job, and they're ready for the competition. So I think that you'll definitely be able to find somebody in this pool that can push the competition with Bates, and I think you'll be in good hands. But just asking about having a kicker and a better defense, I think Dan, for the most part, and I could be wrong, man, I think he is who he is as it relates to going forward on 4th down. I don't think it relates to having a better kicker or not. I think those decisions are solely in his mind and not necessarily predicated on having a Honey Badger or having a Jake Moody out in San Francisco.
You got 10 yards. You got 4 plays to make it. He believes in that team that they can make 10 yards in 4 plays. And you want 7 points and not 3. That's his goal. That's the goal of every NFL coach, except they don't have really the guts that this guy's got. And, a lot of people say I'm wrong, and that's fine. You could look at football your way. I'll look at it my way. I always loved when a coach rolled the dice on 4th down. I especially love when this team does it because I don't think there's a defense out there that could put 11 guys on our 11 guys.
Man, can I spin this question this way and not piss you off?
Yeah.
The NFC Championship game, Dan Campbell, obviously he goes for 3 at the end of the half, but then he chooses to go for in the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, I got it.
Right. And I'm not asking you, was he right or was he wrong? Is it a situation where you think Dan Campbell outguessed himself, outcoached himself in that particular position, and then when he did it again in the second half, he's now in a position to say, you know what, I kind of saw him like, F that, I'm going to always do it my way. The way in which I did against the Dallas Cowboys, that's who I am. I second-guessed myself in the first half, and then I did it again. I think that moment right there showed him Dallas Cowboys Dan Campbell is who I am.
Yep.
49ers Campbell shouldn't have done it.
You hit it on the head, man, because when they went up, it was 21-3. Last play of the quarter, of the half. And he's like, man, it's 4th and short. I go up 28-3. This game is over. He picks the 3, goes up 24-3. Don't tell me he went into that locker room
Man.
full of confidence. Yeah. No, he went in saying, damn it, I left 4 points on the board. And those 4 points win you the game. It's a different game, 28-3. It's a different game at 28-3. It's also a different game if poor Kendall Vildor he defended beautifully against Ayuk, but it hit his helmet right. It just was their day, and it just wasn't our day as Lion fans. That's just what it was. But it is going to be this year, but you hit it on the button. He don't give a damn. He's going to be Riverboat Dan Campbell.
100%. And I didn't bring that up to piss off fans or to make you think about that day. I thought I brought it up to actually say, I think Dan Campbell's back. I think he's in the space where he no longer wants to second-guess himself. Everything he did to get to the NFC Championship, that's what he needs to do moving forward. And I think that's what he will be this year. So to answer your question, I think they go for it the same rate. And if that defense starts playing, especially with that defensive line, and Dan keeps talking about these young secondary players, whether it's Brian Branch, whether it's Ennis Rakestraw, whether it's E-Man, if they start to get some help from that defensive line, you'll see him go for a lot more.
Yeah, I like your side of that. As I'm asking the question to you, I didn't really think about it. A better defense should give him more confidence to go for it on fourth.
Yeah, 100%.
There's going to be some gray hairs in Detroit popping up this season. That's for sure, man. It's going to be a wild ride through these games, but he's not going to deviate from his system at all, I don't think.
Speaking of gray hairs, let's go on the other side of the ball. Taylor Decker, the longest tenured Detroit Lion. And I remember at the very beginning, we all remember what he said about trusting in Dan Campbell, trusting this process. He says, nothing we've done to this point has worked. Why not trust Dan Campbell? Why not trust this process? Why not? And that's what he did as the leader then, still a leader now. This is Taylor Decker talking about we're going to show up and we're going to compete.
I don't think we have to find our identity. I think we know what our identity is. I think you hear all the buzzwords, tough, gritty, all those things, but that's truly what we are. We're kind of old school in that mindset, and we just want to show up and we want to outwork people. So I don't think we have to find it. I think we've already found that over the last 3 years. But to maintain it, what do? We do this out here. This is what we do. We compete against each other. All the cliche sayings, our iron sharpens iron, all that. I mean, that's what you have to do. Because, again, there's no substitute for the hard work. There's no substitute for football. You can do all the speed ladders you want. You can lift all the weights you want, but you still got to go out there and play football to maintain it. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Pete, James, I want to get you guys in on this. Pete, what does it mean for the Detroit Lions to have somebody as tenured as Taylor Decker that's been on the other side when they weren't winning and seen this thing get to where it is now and still have him in the leadership role on the best offensive line in my estimation in the league?
I appreciate you asking because what I really liked in that clip was the iron versus iron, and I was going to ask you, Bray, how you felt about that. When you practice against your own teammates and your own defensive backs, did that make you a better competitor to the defenses that you faced in game time? Because you heard Taylor say it, iron versus iron, so I was just curious how you felt about that.
No, that's a great question, and the best part about that question is there's two ways you can approach it. If you're playing against iron sharpened iron, just another good player, that's one thing, but you're playing against another good player, and your mission is the same. I remember getting to the Jets, Anson and Maz, and the first thing I was excited about was being on the Jets. One, I wasn't on a loser anymore, but with that being said, it was the opportunity to go against Darrelle Revis. Because this was going into year 3. Year 1, Darrelle Revis locked down every DB in the National Football League. And then year 3, it's noted fact, I had a touchdown. I was the only one. I'm just saying.
Right. Love it.
But I was excited to go against Darrelle Revis. He was the best, one of the best DBs, and gets a chance to see him every day. Every day, I was excited about that. And also, his mission was winning. So you got guys just going at it for 2 hours, like legitimately pause. That makes you want to be the best of the best.
Was he the best you ever went against?
Yeah.
I know it's only practice.
And did I played on the same team, man?
Yeah.
Darrelle Revis and Champ Bailey. Darrelle Revis and Champ Bailey. I never got a chance to catch Woodson in his prime.
Right.
Like when I called Woodson, he was coming down. He was playing safety by then, or he was playing nickel DB, so it wasn't the same. And I won't talk about what happened.
No.
But if I would have called Woodson in year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it would have been much better.
Okay.
But Champ Bailey, Darrelle Revis, they're 1 and 2 in any particular order.
Lucky you never ran into Darryl Green back in the day.
Hey, you know what? He's fast as lightning. Yeah. He's still fast. I still see him doing defensive drills with young DBs. And I want to say he's 67.
Yep.
68. Maybe.
I don't know. Is he that old?
Yeah,
I guess he's
older than my dad. I think he's
you're right.
68. 68 or so. But yeah, and we showed the Amon-Ra St. Brown wanting to win the Super Bowl yesterday. Did we show that?
I don't think we did. I think we talked about it.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
Well, let's throw it on there and see if we got that then. This is Amon-Ra St. Brown on what the goal really is.
In this building to win a Super Bowl, and
Mike's out.
That's our goal. That's our focus, and everything we do from here out moving forward is to get that Super Bowl.
How's that different from last year around this time? That might have.
Last year around this time, the year before we were 9-8, barely missed the playoffs. So for us, I feel like going into last year was like, let's win the division, let's get into the playoffs, and once we get there, we can go get that Super Bowl. But I feel like I said, last year was let's win the division, get to the playoffs, and hopefully once we get there, we can go make a run at it. This year it's like I said, it's obviously we want to make the playoffs. You can't win a Super Bowl without making the playoffs, but number one seed, all that stuff sounds good, but our biggest goal, our main goal is the Super Bowl, and I feel like everyone in the room is thinking the same way. And I think just the thought alone it means a lot.
Super Bowl, such a way we've come here in Detroit to be able to talk about Super Bowl, and it's legit. James, let me ask you a real question. For the Detroit Lions, does everything have to go right for them to win the Super Bowl? And the reason why I ask that, some teams get away with not having to go right. Look at the look at the Chiefs last year. We didn't even know if the Chiefs, outside of Patrick Mahomes, were a playoff team last year in Week 9, and they ended up winning the whole thing. Can they have some adversity and win the championship, or does everything have to go right for this Detroit Lions team?
I don't think everything has to go right. I think certain pieces have to be there, right? You look at Jared Goff, you think of Aiden Hutchinson. You look at the Chiefs, one thing that was there was Chris Jones being an interior force on that D-line. So that made a huge difference. And I think, DJ Reader and Aiden Hutchinson, those are must-haves. But I think, if you look at if you had some injuries, let's say in the secondary or at the offensive line, I think you'd be able to cover that up a little bit. But I think the Lions are a deep enough team, especially with this past draft, that they're able to be able to withstand some of the injuries that come with an NFL season.
I want to thank Eric Woodward of ESPN for that video as well, by the way.
Sorry, I always forget to thank.
It's okay.
Give the video credit.
It's all good. He also hooked up with Jared Goff today. They had the reporters were outside Jared Goff outside at Allen Park, and Jared Goff told them, "Hey, man, I'm entering my prime."
Jared, I know it's early, but just your swagger about yourself and just how you playing and commanding the offense, man, you look really, really comfortable, probably more than I've seen you in the last, 3 training camps. Just how do you feel entering the season, man? You signed a big contract, you get married, a lot of things change. You feel like you're entering your prime at this point. How do you feel entering this training camp?
Yeah, I think I may have said that a year or two ago. I feel like I was entering my prime and probably hopefully smack dab in the middle of it now. But yeah, I feel good and feel confident in the guys around me, and they feel confident in me, and it's a good place to be.
We asked you the question so many times last year about, hey, this is the first time the Lions have done this since this year.
Yeah.
You guys have, I think you rolled your eyes at it because you kept saying it was about this year's team. You've accomplished so much now. What is it like entering a camp where it really is only about this year's team?
Yeah, it feels good. Yeah, we don't answer those questions anymore about, trying to snap any streaks or anything like that. So it does feel good, but, we've got bigger goals, and we're excited to try to attain those.
I think he is entering his prime. Yeah, and 100%. He's still a young man. He's 29 years old, which a lot of people still can't believe. He's married now, so now he's going to enter that grown man strength phase of his life, the protective phase. But if you just look at his stats from the last year with the LA Rams to the stats now, they've gone up in every department with the exception of interceptions. You look at yards, he went from 3,200 3 years ago to 4,400 to 4,500. He went from 19 touchdowns to 29 touchdowns to 30 touchdowns, and his efficiency got better, his accuracy got better, his confidence has gotten better. So when you see a man out there who was scared of the microphone when he first got to Detroit, was very quiet at the mic when he was talking back in 2021. Now he's at the mic, he's very confident. He's talking about he's entering his prime. That spells danger for the rest of the teams in the North Division for me.
It really does. And when you talk about a physical prime, you're talking about that 26 to 30 zone. But this guy's entering and right in the middle of his emotional prime. He has a team.
Okay, Dr. Phil, lay it on me.
He has a team in a city that's not only behind him, but he heard hundreds of thousands of people chanting that exactly.
Jared Goff. Remember when him and his dad were actually pulling out of that playoff game and they surrounded the car?
Yeah.
That was, that was
fantastic.
that was the first playoff win. I was in that crowd, man. That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I've never heard that in my entire life in Detroit. That was fantastic.
When you thrust this young guy into basically a Super Bowl champion team in LA, this is a a young man that still didn't know how to answer where the sun rose, if you remember that from Hard Knocks. But despite the success that he achieved in LA, he was never emotionally comfortable there. The writing was always on the wall. He never felt safe. And then even when he came here, we can talk and joke about him not feeling safe in Birmingham, thinking it was in Detroit. And am I going to be embraced? I mean, even last year, even Easy and our own hosts are still kind of calling for this guy's head. But right now, everyone in Detroit not only knows who their quarterback is, they're not only comfortable with it, but they're excited about it. And I think that he's feeling that in return. As you had, referenced, he's gotten married. This is that point in a man's life where in your late 20s, you don't care about what other people think. You care about what the people close to you think. You know what your trajectory and what your path is, and you're comfortable in the skin that you're taking along on that path. So there's no questioning this guy's ability on the field. But now when you mix in his emotional growth and maturation where he is right now, this guy absolutely is in the center of his prime.
You know the largest organ in the body is?
The tongue?
Skin.
Oh, yeah, I did know that.
You just said skin, so it made me think of that. Look, let's pay some bills real quick. But Anson, I definitely do agree with you. Once you get to that space of emotional stability, I think, too. That emotional stability is a big space, and that's the one that he's in
We're the
right
perfect
now.
spot. Who knew that the Lions were the perfect spot for this guy to land?
Yeah.
Brad Holmes did.
And real quick, you started this whole conversation off with adversity. The Lions will win a Super Bowl this year because of the adversity they faced. The guys that have stepped up and become major contributors in this team were forced there because of adversity and injuries in the past few years. That cycle will continue this season. There'll be a few guys that miss. Maybe even Jahmyr Gibbs misses a couple games, and that allows Sione Vaki to understand this offense and be a guy that can be looked at for 5-6
Don't forget about Craig. Come on, Craig.
But there's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be guys that step up this season just like there have been the last 3 seasons. And through adversity, this team will triumph.
Speaking of stepping up, let me tell you about the best youth football league in Metro Detroit. That's right. It is BGCSM, the Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan's 3C Sports League, Detroit, Belleville, Highland Park, and East Point. Ages 5 to 14. And, oh, by the way, it's not just football. They offer cheer as well. If you want to register for football or cheer at bgcsm.org. The equipment, the meals, the transportation, all included for $175 and a chance to play at Ford Field. You want to play at Ford Field where the Lions play the Kings in the North? All you got to do is register now. Get your kids out of the house. And sign up for Planet Fitness while you're out. With over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations, this is the gym for you. And then they have fitness that fits into your budget. Home of the judgment-free zone, so you can work out at your pace, do it your way, and take your time. And also, here's a little secret between me and you. Every membership, it features a trainer, no extra cost. Planet Fitness, simply put, your fitness is
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Ham for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of. And guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Hey guys, dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White Associates today, 248-290-8242. Visit them online as well at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White right now, 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Let's talk about the word awesome, because awesome is where a guy can be a guy and get an absolutely amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircut for Men. Stop in, sit back, and relax and let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel absolutely great. Lady Jane's, anytime you can walk in, haircuts for men 7 days a week. Lady Jane's, it's absolutely wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome it is. Welcome to second segment of the day. Ermanni and Edwards, Maz, Anson Wells filling in for Ryan Ermanni. What do you call it? The Olympic ceremony's opening is on, and I used to be real into that when I was younger. I used to be a big production, especially when it was at night, but I kind of caught a glimpse of what's going on in Paris, and I'm actually glad I'm doing the show.
It's all over the streets instead of like a big arena.
In the water,
it's
like raining out.
They'll replay this again tonight on NBC. They're going to get their money's worth out of this big time. What was that team that was coming in before, the refugee?
The refugee team. So basically 37 athletes from 11 different countries that have been displaced have joined up on one team. I didn't know that was a thing, but that's pretty awesome.
I've never heard that before, but that's dope.
I'm rooting for them to win the gold.
Somebody.
You think about all the politics and reasons why people leave their countries, but have devoted their entire lives like you have to their craft. To be able to still do it is amazing.
The refugees will beat Team USA in basketball.
Maz hopes.
Speaking of basketball, your boy, he didn't wait. Charles Barkley never fails. He did not wait. He has already ripped the NBA over the TNT deal. Maz, take it away.
Oh, man. Sir Charles Barkley. You guys know.
I'm not a role model.
We follow it every day. Here's a statement. Pete, can you enlarge in that for us maybe? Let's try our best to make that a little bit bigger for our boys to read. Move it on over. And what do you think, Bray? Can you read that?
Yep, right here I can read
All
it.
right.
Clearly, the NBA wanted to break us up from the beginning. I'm not sure TNT ever had a chance. TNT matched the money, but the league knows Amazon and these tech companies are the only ones willing to pay for the rights when the double in the future. The NBA didn't want to piss them off.
You called that right from the get-go.
100%.
That's why they're going with Amazon, because of the future. The future past this deal.
It's a sad day when the owners and commissioners choose money over the fans. It just sucks. I just want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart. I think I might add that one, who has been at Turner for the last 24 years. They are the best people and most talented, and they deserve better. I also want to thank the NBA and its fans, the fans in sports, the best fans that is. We're going to give you everything we have next season. Charles Barkley, TNT Inside, the NBA.
That's terrible.
There it is. You said it.
But he called it. He called it for exactly what it is. We talked a little bit yesterday, Anson, and basically what we said was, look, it's the future. The future is Bezos. The future is Amazon. The future is streaming, ads, the whole 9 yards, and TNT for whatever. People just aren't watching TV. So don't be mad it happened or that they shut it down. Be happy they shut it down before it was a raggedy product.
Yeah, it's, the thing you got to love about Chuck is he's always been Chuck Barkley.
Yeah.
The guy has never shied away from, like you threw out there, I am not a role model. But he really is a role model as we look at it. This guy has always stood up and spoken out for who he is and for other players, and now he's doing it for an entire broadcast team. It's terribly sad, the idea of not being able to watch these guys anymore.
You know, the NBA is going to take him on the side as well and say, hey, you better watch your mouth this year. They are going to. But I don't know if he'll listen to him or not, Bray.
I think he's beyond it. I think Charles Barkley's gotten to a space where he's been allowed to say whatever he wants to say with no recompense or no recourse behind it. And that's where he's made his name. That's where he's cut his teeth. So I think he's one of those grandfathered in type situations that at the end of the day, they know they got one more year of it, and they'll be done with whatever he says. So they'll allow him to say whatever he's going to say for the most part. Maybe fine him a time or two, but he'll be done because they know in 365 they no longer have to deal with the man known as Sir Charles.
TNT responded to that, of course, and let's put that up. They put a response up, and read that one, Bray. This one's from TNT that's saying basically we're going to sue.
Look, Maz summed it up. Basically, we're about to go after our money. Given the NBA's unjustified rejection of our matching of a third-party offer, we have taken legal action to enforce our rights. We strongly believe that it is not just our contractual right, but also in the best interest of fans who want to keep watching an industry-leading NBA content with the choice and flexibility we offer them through the widely distributed WBD video first distribution platforms, including TNT and Max. So they're going after their cash, just like we said was going to happen yesterday. They matched the offer. They got the third party to help them out. They knew they weren't going to get the deal. Now they sue and get a little something in their pockets as well. Anson.
I mean, it's going to happen. The money's going to end up. Some money's going to go to TNT. I don't know.
100%. It's America.
Yeah, we're not. I don't think we're ever going to see that court case play out. They're going to settle.
Yeah.
But I'm truly petrified of what's going to happen over the next 10 years with all sports.
We're going to pay for them.
Well, but tech and social media has just become so powerful. And what I'm wondering is, with the ease of access to social media, if these guys take control, will there be some sort of ease of access to games? Because what we're looking at right now is the majority of games in the four sports are not easily accessible. So how are they going to keep the next generation of fans intrigued? Obviously, it's good. Go ahead.
It's funny you ask. ESPN is launching an NFL Red Zone spinoff for their NBA coverage in 25-26. So this is them trying to take a page out of the NFL's book with Red Zone, which a lot of people have. Everybody can access, and you can watch all the games at the same time. ESPN is launching an NFL Red Zone, exactly like I said, all the games every night in the most important moments. Now, I think something like that will definitely benefit the NBA.
It would.
You're talking about hard. I buy the NBA package every year. It's like $100 to get on your phone. You can watch 80% of the games.
What do we always say? Just watch the last minute of the game.
That's all you need to watch. But now you have an option too. It's so hard to find where NBA games are during the season. You make it more accessible. Maybe your ratings go up without LeBron James.
Well, and we're in the middle of the TikTok generation, and when they say that, they basically are referencing the short attention span that this new generation has. They don't want to watch stuff for more than 2 minutes or even 30 seconds. So seeing the success of NFL Red Zone, I think that this plays in perfectly with a game like basketball in the NBA.
By the way, ESPN also saying just a few minutes ago, there's a rumor out there that they will go after the NBA, the entire team, meaning Charles, Kenny Smith, Shaq, and Ernie. I'll tell you this, Ernie will not leave TNT. But the other three might be able to get out of their contract. I'm sure they'll be able to. That's why TNT is probably suing, and they'll probably make some type of deal for these guys to be able to have their freedom to go anywhere they want. But that's the word on the street. The only problem is there ain't enough room, man. I mean, you got Stephen A. Smith. That's like 4 mics right there.
Him and his forehead alone.
Yeah, that's 4 mics already right there. With Stephen A.
I would love to watch Shaq and Chuck and Kenny shut Stephen down, because they're not going to put up with his crap. And he always knows he's the biggest dude at the table, except for when you're sitting there with Shaquille O'Neal and Chuck Barkley. That would be can't miss TV.
Interesting.
One thing about it is money talks and BS walks. You can sit up here and say what you want to about I don't want to do this and I'm not going to leave this and I'm loyal to this and the NBA shouldn't do this. A lot of times in these spaces, though, money talks, and you're talking about Disney money. There's not a lot of money that's bigger than that Disney money. So we'll see what happens, monitor this, because Chuck's talking like that now. Shaq's talking like that now, but I definitely can see a space where they're working on ESPN. Hell, I could see Skip Bayless come back to ESPN. I know I heard Stephen A. Smith say that he,
Ain't gonna happen.
I believe it when I see it.
Right.
Money talks, BS walks.
It's already $200 to get in a park, isn't it? At Disney, $200 a head just to walk in.
It's expensive.
And then you have to wait in line and get on 4 rides for the entire day.
Like 3 different types of fast passes.
Man. Yeah.
I haven't been there since 1984, so I
Wow.
wouldn't really answer that one.
I think it's changed a lot there, Anson.
Yeah, I would
since
hope
then.
so.
Hey, I've had this up for a few days now, but Netflix is coming out with some great sports documentaries in August. Look at the 3 shows that they're coming up with. The first one is going to be the murder of Air McNair, the Steve McNair murder, and that one is something. August the 20th. That will be on Netflix.
Intriguing.
Wasn't he on the freeway when they found his body?
He was in his
at the
house.
Yeah, that's right. At the
Don't
house.
you remember what they said happened? The girlfriend, the wacky girlfriend.
Whack is a good
Yeah,
term.
she did something, and then I think she offed herself as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that one.
After that one, they have Sign Stealer. Here you go, Anson. The Connor Stallion story on August the 27th. That one will be out as well. I'm sure you'll be the first to watch that. And then Hope Solo versus the United States soccer team on September 3rd. I can't wait to watch
Took her shirt off?
all of these. No, that wasn't her.
That was Chastain.
That was Brandy.
Hope Solo had the
Hope Solo
pictures,
got the
pictures, right?
Oh yeah, there were pictures of her and
her body parts.
Yes, her body parts,
Yeah.
and she was dating at the time. It was the Seattle Seahawks tight end. I forgot who it
Jimmy
was.
Graham?
No, it was a guy, and they had some rough times between them. It was a mess.
Oh yes.
It was a mess.
Right.
Sign Stealer will be a complete PR film for the University of Michigan. They have deep ties into
Jeremy
Hollywood.
Stevens, thank you.
It's going to be the
Oh,
same
good call.
thing as the Tim Donaghy garbage documentary where cast him as this awful bad guy, and the same thing. Connor Stallions is going to be the only guy responsible for it. So enjoy your fluff piece, Corn and Blue.
What'd you call them?
I mean,
how do you know?
Because I know. I already know what that documentary is going to be. It is going to be a complete PR movie for the University of Michigan. I'm just waiting for the Dr. Bob documentary to come out.
Wow.
Dr. Bob.
Wow.
Anyway, time
Let's
to
see
pick.
that one.
You said what?
That'd
Thanks
be rated
anyway.
R, by the way.
I'll pass on that one.
Yeah.
Answer's a funny dude, man.
By the way, guys, did you see who signed with the Brooklyn Nets?
Killian Hayes.
Killian Hayes is back, folks. Now, who is everyone dumping for this year? There's a player out there. I think, is he playing for Duke, or who's this player everyone's dumping for?
Cooper Flag.
Cooper Flag.
What's the words? It used to be
Tanking?
Yeah, tank for Hank or whatever. What's this one for Flag? I forgot. There's a saying.
Sag for Flag?
Sag for Flag.
I don't know.
That's a good one. Anyway, Killian Hayes is going to play for the Nets. They
There's
might score like 60 points a game.
Killian should have a job somewhere. He's still
He
a
couldn't
super
make the
young
French
guy.
team.
He didn't, did he?
No.
Well, he wasn't really playing this last second half. So, but I do believe that guy has a spot in the NBA. It's 11th or 12th or 13th spot, but he plays good defense. He can handle the ball a little bit. Put up some actual nice stats for us in towards the end of his run with the Pistons, but who cares?
Yeah, I'll pass on that. Just like I'm about to pass on this. Let me tell you a little bit about Soroki.
Yeah.
Crispy chicken and pizza. The Nashville Hot is back, but also they have fresh sides and salads. So don't feel like you have to get the spicy heat that is the Nashville Hot. But they are back. You might want to give it a try. I recommend the chicken tenders. And if that, they do have crispy, fresh salads, fresh sides, and the honey biscuits. Oh, my God, the honey biscuits. They're worth it just to go to Soroki's for the honey biscuits. Now only the Nashville Hot. The LI Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through the 25th at Warwick Hills. Ladies and gentlemen, James Furyk will be there. Get a chance to see a guy that won a green jacket. Leave the golf to the pros and don't miss the party at 17. $2 birdie beers, concerts, and more. Get your tickets at lichallenge.com.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment. Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Any Lady Jane's haircuts for men, and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's haircuts for men. It's wicked awesome.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? Well, you expand and you offer more products to more people, and that is exactly what Les Stanford did. By adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. It's on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford and Dearmore today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Let's drive. I didn't know you were pointing at me. Hey, it's Maz and Anson in the house today. Braylon on his way to Jersey. He's going to Jets camp this weekend. He's invited. He's going to do some talking there. He's going to grab us some guests, too, for next week as well.
What are you doing this weekend, Maz?
You know what? I have a free weekend this weekend.
Yeah?
Usually I have grad parties, going somewhere. Last week I was in Chicago. A couple of weeks before that I was in New Jersey. Starting after this weekend, my weekends are like really cooked.
Very nice.
After this one. This is like my last free weekend to this. I don't know. Maybe I'll go in the pool.
Soak
All
it
I do
up.
is clean that damn pool. Maybe I'll go in and try to enjoy it this time.
Soak it up.
What are you
Soak it
doing?
up. I will be prepping this weekend for next weekend. You can see here, the Jack Frost Auto Museum. We've got our 5th annual charity car show. There'll be over 1,000 cars. This is out in Washington Township a week from tomorrow, August 3rd.
Wish I could have been there.
I know. Well, I will be at 6 weddings, so I won't be there. But you guys, if you're interested, it's only $5 a carload from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. out in Washington Township, the Jack Frost Auto Museum 5th annual charity car show.
That's cool, man. That's for a good cause. Keep it going, right?
Oh yeah.
Now,
Humane Society, or Macomb Humane Society, Gleaners, Capuchin Retreat Center. Got quite a few charities we take care of.
Hey, I want to thank Dante151. That's our super fan. You know that. He's got the super chat going. He says we're only 13 days away till Giants and Lions preseason game on August 8th. Also look at Swamp Kings about the Gators. He said that's a waste of time as well. He said that was a fluff piece. And we did talk about that probably a bunch of months ago. We talked about that. They had the Aaron Hernandez thing on there too. The Aaron Hernandez doc is really unbelievable. Did you ever get a chance to see that one?
I certainly did.
That one is the most eye-opening documentary I've ever watched.
Yeah, it just, more and more twists. You kind of think you know what's going on, but it's like a fiction crime drama. It's very entertaining and
Boy,
pretty sad as well.
That guy had it all, man. He just got a new contract. He had a new family, new baby.
He was better than Gronk.
He could have been, man. And how about them? They were going to run. They were going to run one of my favorite offenses, the 2 tight end offense.
12 personnel.
When you get 2 guys like that and put them on the freaking field, that's why I wouldn't have minded had the Lions gotten Brock Bowers. Because I would have loved Brock Bowers on one end and Sam Laporta on the other end.
Terrifying.
It would have been unbelievable. That's old school football, man. And then he had a did he have a touchdown in the Super Bowl or did he drop one? I forgot. I think he had a touchdown in the Super Bowl against the Giants. I'll have to go back and I'm sure the chat will let me know. He either had a touchdown or he dropped a wide open pass. Nonetheless, Aaron Hernandez, a very sad story. How about the Big Ten Media Days? They are over right now in Indianapolis. Yesterday, Michigan and Michigan State had the chance to get up on the stage. Sharon Moore, the new head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, looking very dapper and sounded a little bit like Jim Harbaugh.
Beat our rivals, beat Ohio State. Win the Big Ten. Go to college football playoff and win it. For us, that's something we strive to do. Tough, smart, dependable, relentless, enthusiastic, and together is how I describe our team. We're going to do everything we can to strive for perfection. Everything we do every day is a process, and we'll continue to strive to do that. And we'll continue to do that with contagious enthusiasm unknown to mankind.
Who did that sound like?
Don't ask me on that one.
I'm just asking you.
I mean,
he got some Jim Harbaugh in him. I'm happy
he certainly
for him,
does.
all right? I'm happy that he learned under a guy like Jim Harbaugh. And this guy looks like he is ready for the job.
Yeah. I mean, he's coming up.
Don't worry. We'll do your Michigan State in a minute. Relax.
I'm not worried about touching on the Michigan State football team this season. But no, when you're part of a system that's been as successful as they have, especially last season, and you get raised by a guy that's been successful on many levels, you got to hope that guy understands and takes a lot of that with him. How they're going to overcome as many players they lost to the NFL this year and how he's going to be able to recruit with the same effectiveness as Harbaugh, I don't know. But the little bit that I've seen from him, sans the lost assistant coaches that they've kind of churned through this offseason, these guys really do seem like they're going to stay on the same path. You might have a little bit of regression this year because of the amount of guys that they lose, but it sounds very similar in Ann Arbor still.
It does. It sure does. And they have a hard schedule. We already talked about it. They've got a schedule, when you look at it, right down the middle, it looks like they have a chance to possibly play in 3 really tight games, either win or lose those games. Jerome Moore says, we're going to beat Ohio State, and that's what counts. That's the number one thing always. Back in the day, let's win the Big Ten and let's beat Ohio State. But he goes on, let's win the playoff. Let's compete in the playoffs, and let's compete for a national championship. Now, your guys, the green and white of Michigan State, obviously the last couple of years have been pretty bad. Last year was really bad. Obviously, their coach let them down, Mel Tucker. They have a new guy, Jonathan Smith from Oregon State, brings over a lot of his kids from Michigan State, including his quarterback, Aiden Childs.
I think athletically, he's gifted throwing the ball. He can move his feet, but he has a deep passion for this game, and so he likes studying it. I think he's got some instincts to play in the game. And yes, he's still a youngster. He's had some action last year, but we're looking forward to seeing how him playing full-time, how he continues to grow and give us a chance to score some points.
All right. You've got a mobile quarterback. Haven't had one of those in a long time.
Can't even remember.
Right? I don't remember the last time you had a mobile
Can't even remember.
What's your take on this kid, Aiden Childs, and this Michigan State team?
Well, without D'Antonio there, this team has to create a new identity for themselves. I know that this is the ground and pound, black and blue, Big Ten, but it's not so much the same anymore. You bring a couple of Pac-10 teams over. I think there's, 20 teams in the Big Ten times 2 now. So being able to step into the present day and start working a little bit more RPA and a little bit more mobile quarterback, it's something that has to happen. Right now, this team and that city is not a destination for any of these young kids that are being recruited right now. So if they can kind of bring their offense and just their whole game plan into present day, I think that it'll help them recruit some of these young guys. I will say this, they're going to lose a lot of games this year, but they're going to be a lot more fun to watch.
We're going to go over the schedule a little bit. But August 30th, they open up on a Friday night again. Florida Atlantic comes into MSU. So we'll take that one. There's one for you. Are you 1-0 against Florida Atlantic?
I sure hope so. That you get Southern or Atlantic in there. Those are two teams that have always been able to get some good players and been able to upset some teams.
All right.
That's not what I want to see on week one. I don't think I even want to see Central week one at this point.
All right. Well, I want you guys to keep track of this. All right. So mark down. You got a W for that one?
Sure.
All right. James, Michigan State, Florida Atlantic. Who got a W? Joel, Michigan State. That's your team, I know.
W.
W.
Go green.
How about Pete?
Go white.
Barely a W. FAU is actually a pretty decent team.
All right. I'm not going to even say what I say. Okay, next. Michigan State travels to Maryland. Go ahead there, Anson.
W.
Oh, W. Powerneck?
I think it'll be a W as well. I think it'll be a low-scoring game because I think Maryland's struggling too on offense, but I got Michigan State W.
Oh, wow. Joel?
Is Tua's brother still playing with Maryland?
No, I think he transferred.
Oh, then W.
Okay. And Pete?
Even though he has transferred, I still say Maryland unfortunately wins that game. Sorry,
Where's
Anson.
Tulia now? Somebody find out where
that's what I was just
Tulia
trying to
is.
find.
All right, so
he declared for the draft.
He declared for the draft.
So I think he's in the process. I think he's on an NFL team. I think he's in training camp, I believe.
Okay. I thought he jumped back into college, but my mistake. Next, the Prairie View team's coming to East Lansing.
Prairie View. You remember what a joke they were? Didn't they have the longest losing streak in NCAA history? Back in like the 90s, early 2000s.
It sounds like that team would have that kind
of. No, I know for a fact that they had the longest losing streak for a long, long time. It's funny because I was going to bring them up a couple weeks ago, but that better be a damn W.
All right. We'll count it as a W.
I'd hope so as well. It'd be a W. And then Talia, his brother, Tua's brother, is with the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the CFL.
Oh, the Ticats.
Yes.
Yeah, he didn't.
All right, so he went to the CFL. Man, should have stayed in college one more year. You should have.
He was 24.
He was already a sixth year.
Yeah, I was going to say he's pretty old.
We could have got him a seventh year. No problem. Prairie View and MSU there, Joel.
Definitely a W on that one.
Pete?
That's a win.
That's a win. Even I got to go with that.
Yeah, that's
one.
a win.
All right, now you're traveling out down to Boston. It's still September. Michigan State at BC, the Boston College Eagles.
It's a tough place to play, and they're not going to.
Isn't Bill O'Brien coaching them?
Yeah, they're not starting the season 0 or 4-0, so I'll give them a loss here.
Okay, go ahead, James. Bill O'Brien's going to be waiting for them.
I think look. I'm going to say right now Michigan State W, but I'd like to see how the two teams start, especially with two first-year head coaches.
I'm sorry, you can't do that. You have to make it.
Oh, I'll make a decision. I'm going to give Michigan State the W. I think their ground game is going to be able to carry them through that game, and they're going to play a ball control game.
So far, it sounds like Michigan State's going to the playoff. Go ahead, Joel. MSU and BC.
Boston College. That might be a toss-up. They played Florida State tough last year, so
coach.
I don't even know.
Coach.
I don't even know if I can really believe in us yet. So I'm gonna go Boston College.
Okay, I think you're smart on that. Pete?
Yeah, BC wins that game. Sorry, Michigan
Real
State
quick,
wins.
September 27th, 1998. It took almost 9 years, but Prairie View A&M finally tasted victory. The Panthers ended their NCAA record 80-game losing streak Saturday night, stopping a 2-point conversion in the final minute for a 14-12 victory over Langston at Oklahoma City.
What year was that?
98. Okay. I remember that from the 90s. They were the longest losing streak.
Good call, man. Good call. Hey, guess what? You guys got the Buckeyes coming to town. Night game, September the 28th. The Buckeyes are in town.
That's an early matchup with Ohio State, and that is a W for the Crimson.
The Scarlet and Gray?
Scarlet and gray, is that what they are?
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't care about that.
Go ahead, James. Let's run this one quick.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a W for Ohio State. I do think it'll be a close game. The people realize East Lansing is a tough place to play. I do think it will be a close game, but I do think Ohio State pulls it out.
Gets rowdy at night.
Joel's going to be in the woodshed, that's for sure.
No, I will not be.
You're not going to be in the woodshed? Nah. You got an L or a W?
That seemed like one of those. I was just about to say when James said that's a tough place to play. That's a tough place to play if they stay the whole game.
Yeah.
But like games that's like blowouts, we dipping
Take
out.
on.
You gotta think we a party school, so
Let's go to Harper's, baby.
I was say win or lose, we like all right. We about to just go to the bar. Like we about to just get it started early. So
I have a daughter there. I know.
Oh yeah, definitely. I forgot. So I would say
You never been to East Lansing?
Yeah, of course I have. Every year.
You've been there for Parent Week.
Every year I go.
What
hear
did you
games.
just say? You didn't what?
I said I have a daughter there. I know.
So he knows.
I thought maybe you had never been.
Are you nuts?
Man,
It's crazy.
man.
It would be nuts.
I used to cover Michigan State in my WJR days back in the old days.
I like you a lot.
Thank you.
That's a loss. I just hope
Yeah,
to see
of course.
one below 21.
All right. So under 21 points. Pete,
That's a loss. Let's move on.
under 21 or over 21?
Oh, the under.
Thank you, Pyro Pete.
Sorry, bro.
Oh, my
forward.
God, guys. I'm sorry. You start October off in Eugene, Oregon. Michigan State at the Ducks.
Ooh.
I'm going to go crazy here.
Okay.
Because we've
Never
got
mind.
Oregon
James.
State's coach.
James.
And he's circling that date on. Okay.
You this Mike.
James, just go around. Hurry up. Hurry up.
Again, I think this one will be a blowout.
Okay,
for the Ducks.
Joel, how about you?
Joel.
Oregon.
No, I'm sorry, James. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was going to say, I think it'll be a blowout for the Ducks. I think Dylan Gabriel will play a really good game. And, again, Eugene's a tough place to play. It'll be interesting to see how they adjust to Pacific time.
That's right. And the crown in the field. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Joel, what'd you say?
I'm going to have to go Oregon.
21 points or less?
I'm not going to lie. When we went out to Washington, that showed me that I don't think we're going to be able to play, like, any West Coast games for real. Like, so I think that might be a blowout, too.
Yeah, Washington was at Michigan State last year.
But I'm saying the year before that, we went to them and got punched in our mouth.
That's a loss. Pete?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, I'm going to make the bettors a lot of money here. I take Michigan State first half because John Smith is going to treat this like the Civil War.
That's right.
And he knows what this game is all about, but Michigan State's going to grow tired. In the second half, they'll get blown out. I'm sorry, but take Michigan State first half in the points.
Love that take.
All right. Here we go now. We're in the middle of October now. Iowa is coming to East Lansing. The Hawkeyes with, who's their quarterback again?
McNamara.
Cade McNamara. That's right. Cade McNamara and the Hawkeyes.
Loss.
Loss. The Big Ten runner-up, right? Big Ten runner-up. Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yeah, that team's just been so competitive for so long, and the Spartans just aren't there yet. Even
How
at
about you,
home.
James?
I'm gonna say Michigan State pulls out a W here.
Yeah,
I
right.
do think
Getting the upset over Kirk Ferentz.
I'm gonna give the upset, and the reason why is I think that defense is really gonna surprise people this year. I think they will get back on track defensively, and as I said, I really like their ground game. I don't think Iowa's gonna be able to score much more as they're still trying to figure out their offensive identity.
All right. Joe?
So what you call? We lost to them last year because we let Cooper DeJean get a punt return touchdown.
He's one of the best.
Yeah, I was about to say, but at the end of the game, so it was a close game the whole time. So
It was.
I think now that we're gonna have an actual competent offense, we could pull out that game against them. It'll be a low scoring one, probably like a 14.
You think 14?
14.
I was looking 9-6.
I was gonna say 14-10 us.
Okay.
It's good football right there.
Beat Iowa, Michigan State.
It's going to be close, but I think that Michigan State actually pulls that one out because they're going to be looking forward to going into Michigan next week.
All right. Hey, North Macedonia is coming in right now. They're getting voted in the Paris Olympics. They're going to beat Team USA basketball. Come on now. Let's go. You got this, man. It's like 5 people on the entire boat. Madagascar is riding in there now. Look at that.
Look at that dude.
How happy they are.
Look at
There's
that
like
guy.
6 of those guys. They have an Olympic team. Madagascar.
All 7 of them.
All 7 of them. All right. Let's continue on now. Michigan State schedule. I know this is riveting, guys. October the 26th. It's going to be in the big house. It's Michigan State.
Can I skip this one?
No. Pick a winner.
Well, I'll pick a loser to win that game in Michigan.
All right. Go ahead, Joel. I'm sorry, James.
Powerneck.
I'm gonna go. I think it'll be a closer game. I actually think Michigan State will win this. I don't think Michigan will take this game seriously. Again, I don't think Michigan State takes this game more seriously than Michigan ever does. So I'm gonna say it's gonna be a close game, but I'm gonna say Michigan State wins it in the big house.
Trouble with the snap, Joel.
Which are caught. I'm not too sure because I really don't even know how this Michigan State team about to look, and of how they looked the last 2 years. I would have to say no, but rivalry games and a brand new look team, it's definitely gonna be way closer than people expect. I see, so I can see them actually sneaking a win in, but for right now, I would have to say loss.
Okay. Make sure you're keeping track.
I'll make the bettors some money. Take the Spartans and the points, but they will not win. Michigan wins that game, but take the points.
I'm with you on that. Take the points, but it's a U of M win. And then Michigan State gets another home game. The Hoosiers are coming to town, and that would be November the 2nd. So it's starting to get cold now.
I mean, I always mark up IU as a W in football. So
all right.
Got to find that fourth W somewhere.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, I'm going to say we had 3 and 4.
I'd say they get a W against Indiana as well. I think, simple as that.
Go ahead there, Joel.
W. 4 and 4.
Pete?
Yep, W. Go ahead.
Wow, the Hoosiers are the
That's
losers.
4 and 5, right? That's 4 and 5, I believe.
I don't know. You guys each have your own thing.
I only have 3 wins.
Well, but that's 9 games we've gone through, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Michigan State's going to Champaign, Illinois on November the 16th. The Illini.
I'm an alumni, so I'm going to say a W.
All right.
Let's do it.
James?
I'm going to say a loss. I think this team's much improved under Brett Bielema. I think they will continue to get better. I think they'll actually shock some people in the Big Ten and be a 7-8 win team. Illinois will be.
Hey, they gave Michigan all they wanted last year. You remember that one?
I do. Yeah.
Joel?
I honestly know nothing about Illinois this year,
I
so
just told you, Brett Bielema is the head coach. You know they're going to run the ball down your throat.
I'm going to still just go Michigan State.
Oh, green.
Sorry, MSU is going to be going up against a team going for the share of the Big Ten West title. They do not have a chance in that game.
Well, there's no more West.
I'm sorry. Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Well, the best team out of the former Big Ten West, Illinois, they're not going to beat Illinois. I'm sorry.
All right, and finally, we've got Purdue at Michigan State, and there's one more after this one. So this is on November 22nd. This is on Black Friday, guys. This is on November 22nd. It's a night game. You're going to play, remember Black Friday last year was 42-0 Penn State, but that was at Ford Field. This game could be the snow game that was from 2 years ago. Remember when Penn State came to town and they had, but this is a night game on the day after Thanksgiving. Purdue Boilermakers are coming to town.
Purdue will get the W, I believe.
Even though it's a night game and
you
guys are going to be
Joel
old.
said, man, if it's not closer to halftime, everybody's at the bar. So,
right.
House parties.
Especially for a night game. They're going to be very cold in this one. How about you, James?
I got Purdue winning this one. I think Purdue is a team that I don't think they'll be very good this year, but I do think they will be able to play this game close. And cold weather favors underdogs very well, so I think Purdue pulls this one out.
All right, Joel, you're going to be at that game, right? Day after Thanksgiving?
I'm probably not going to a single game.
Oh, he's not going.
I'll probably go up
Now
there.
you graduated.
I was going to say, I'll probably go up there and tailgate and stuff, because some of my friends still going up there, but I'm not.
Can you still get student tickets as a graduate?
Actually, since I was still enrolled into 2 classes this summer, I could have still been able to use my thing to get them. Nah.
High resale value on those tickets this year.
Win or loss?
I'll go win.
Okay.
I'm gonna have some faith in Aiden Childs.
All right.
Gotta beat Purdue, so MSU wins that game for sure.
And they finish the season against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. That is a November 30th game, the last game of the year. It is at East Lansing. Rutgers, Greg Schiano.
W to go 500, 6-6.
Nice.
Go green. Let's go. Sparty on.
James, what do you got about?
I got a W, and again, I'm going to have the Spartans finishing 8-4 this year. So
wow.
I feel really, I think they're going to surprise some people this year. I really do. Again, I think last year was an aberration. I don't think you're going to see that kind of a product again, and I think they'll put on some good building blocks for next year.
Joel, he's got him at 8-4, 6-6, 8-4.
I would say to go along with James' sentiments. I had some inside sources, some team members, I guess you can say, and well, no, not I guess you can say they were, but they were saying basically just like some of them were like checked out when the whole Mel Tucker stuff was going on. So like you be checked out week 2, like
it's over.
Yeah, so it's over from the very start. So I maybe if some of those guys are buying in now with Jonathan Smith and it's new players coming in, I can see it.
They will be.
Yeah, I can see like a 7-5 year, 6-6 year. So I would go win on this one.
And Pete, finish up the
Yeah, they'll finish up with 2 wins in a row. They win that game.
All right. So you guys consider MSU a pretty good bounce back year then?
I would go decent. I would say decent.
I only have 5 Joel's wins. Take,
I think 5 or 6 wins, maybe even 7, I think is the max.
The toxicity of the situation last year, it's just so overwhelming. I don't know how anybody or any team could overcome that. So the complete, fresh, clean slate that these guys will be operating on this year, that's got to provide at least 1 or 2 wins and allow them to really compete in games that they probably will lose, whereas they were just getting blown out last year.
And also the past 2 years, I've literally watched them like find ways to lose games. Like we lost to Indiana 1 year, or not 1 year, but the year before last to miss 6 wins because Indiana had only attempted like 2 passes. They attempted 4 passes the whole game. They were down 17 and ran all run plays to come back from 17, had a punt return. Like, it's just stuff like that was going on that, like, I think they'll find a way to, like, patch up and not have basically just call it how it is, dumb stuff like that happen anymore for them.
And I think lastly I was going to say is I think they'll get back to their identity. With Mel Tucker, they were trying to be a big-time school, trying to recruit with the likes of Alabama, Michigan, LSU, trying to be a big Power 5 program. And it's like, that's just not who they are. Right, Mark D'Antonio was able to find, diamonds in the rough, take 3 stars, 2 stars, and be able to develop guys. I think we see Michigan State return to that type of program again, and I think therefore you'll see them actually improve again because they'll have an identity.
I wish you guys the best of luck. Yeah.
I have some breaking news, and it's pretty important. Amon-Ra reports the Dolphins and quarterback Tua Tagovailoa have agreed to a 4-year, $212.4 million extension.
Congrats to Tua, man. He got his money.
Isn't that exactly what Jared Goff got?
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Just about. That's a little over $50 million a year.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad for Tua. Good for him. Mike McDaniel said they were going to get a job done any day now, and thanks for that update, Pete.
You got it, my friend.
We were just going to go around the NFL as well, so that'll lead us in to our next thing here. We're going to go around the NFL, but first we're going to take a break and do what, Pete?
Dr. Pierce and Premier, my friend.
Dr. Pierce will be with us in about 20 minutes from now. Attention, sports fans, do not miss our expert sports injury insider. It's Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. He trusts the guy that DMAC trusts. He joins Big D Energy every Tuesday, joins us on Thursday, except when he's on the road, which he is today. Dr. Jeff Pierce here to keep you in the game, performing at your best. We're going to talk to him, of course, about that injury to Michael Badgley and more. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com. Call 248-426-9944. And for more, my favorite pet store. It should be yours as well. It's Premier Pet Supply, family-owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available, curbside delivery if you need it, and they've got nutritionists on call for any questions about your beloved pet. Mine, of course, is beloved Jeter. I love my pet.
Aww.
Give him a try right now. Give your pet the best. Don't settle for less. It's PremierPetSupply.com.
Jeter.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supplies has everything that your pet can dream of. And guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Are you tired of wearing that same old Detroit sports merch? It's a new era in sports wearables, new designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag, including the Boot 'em Kid shirt. So check out Woodward Sports' latest gear at woodwardsports.com and click shop. Hoodies, tees, and the hats are guaranteed to turn heads. Get the latest designs today at woodwardsports.com and click shop.
You had a new shirt you wanted to design today, didn't you? Tell me about a new shirt?
Yeah, it's Mad Maz Beyond Silverdome. We got to get that in the shop.
So the picture of me with the dark hair, the dark beard, all of that.
Oh yeah,
It's in the works. How would you like to play a round of golf with Woodward Sports' own Braylon Edwards at the University of Michigan Golf Course?
Hell yeah.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Register today and you could round off our foursome. That's right. At woodwardsports.com or scan the code on the screen that you see right now. When it comes to your next car or truck, make the wise decision. Randy Wise Automotive.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports. Ermanni, Edwards, and Maz. We got Anson Wells in the house. Powerneck. Joel is here. Braylon's on his way to Jersey. Heat is in the booth. Dr. Pierce coming up in just a few minutes. I think he's in New York. We'll figure that out. But a lot of love for Michigan State in the chat, guys. So you guys aren't too far off, at least from the chat guys.
Go green.
So congratulations on a winning season. Fantastic.
We'll take anything after last year, my
We're
friend.
going to go around the NFL. You heard Pete with the breaking news. Tua Tagovailoa gets himself about $210 million. Nice 4-year extension for him. I think he makes $100,000 more than Jared Goff when it comes down to it. But, of course, we will see how that rolls out. So the Miami Dolphins have their guy. Do you like Tua and those Dolphins? Answer.
I do. I love Tua. I think he's maybe the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. He's absolutely loved by his teammates, mobile. A guy like that you just absolutely have to keep in your franchise. So I think it's a good move for the Miami Dolphins.
Now, there's a guy out there that could be, or at least he says he's going to be, the first $60 million quarterback. And his name is Dak Prescott. Dakota Rain Prescott, as Braylon calls him. This is Dak yesterday at the podium at Dallas, but check those numbers out right now. Those are numbers that Dak and the Cowboys have to circumvent in his upcoming season and going forward. I don't know how the heck they're going to pay him, CeeDee Lamb, and there's one other player that needs to get paid on that team, and I can't remember who it was. exactly.
Micah
it.
Parsons.
Micah
Micah
Parsons.
Parsons.
Thank you. How can I forget one of my favorite players
Right.
in the league? I don't know how they're going to do it, and neither does Dak.
It's a two-way street that they have once, I have once.
It's only left channel.
Deserve that. Understanding that this is a business, and obviously I want.
I'm not hearing it, no. And I've been hearing all the other audio today.
I've become a man. So, but at the end of the day, it's a business, and you know when I'm gonna say it, I want to be here, but you know when you look up, all the great quarterbacks I watched played for other teams. So my point in saying that is that's not something to fear. That may be a reality for me one day, may not be my decision. So that's the freedom that I have is be where your feet are, make the most of it, be confident in yourself, make your team better. I love my teammates. I love that locker room. I love everything about being out here in Oxnard and being a Dallas Cowboy. So that's what allows me to be free and focused and understand that and time comes, who knows what comes. As I said, I've been through a lot of adversity personally, that it's about, you know, being thankful for where you are, hugging and loving on your loved ones, and taking it one day at a time, and handling the rest when it approaches.
What's your take on Dak Prescott? And I'm going to read some numbers for you. Hold on, before you say anything. Broder has reminded me that the audio-only people can't read the numbers that we had on the screen, so I'll read them for you. He is a $55 million cap hit in 2024. He's got a no-trade clause in 2024. The no-tag clause in 2025. $40 million of voidable dead cap, and a March 10th contract void. That's Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys, what they have to face. And you just heard him. He's like, look, I want to be here. I'm not sure. It's business. It is what it is. There's other guys that are getting paid. There's other great quarterbacks. He spins it like there's other great quarterbacks out there that got their money, and he goes on and on and on. Does he deserve more than Tua, more than Goff, more than Joe Burrow, etc.?
Well, I mean, he had a fantastic year last year, but in terms of where he is in his career, I would imagine that it's about to slope downward. That interview, if I'm a Cowgirls fan, I'm not excited to have Dak. Dak's already got his foot in the exit door, it sounds like. But there's a simple cure here if you're Dak Prescott. Restructure. Help your team out. Do what Pat Mahomes did. This guy's got 3 rings now, right? Pat Mahomes?
Yep.
All the more reason to take more money, but he's taking less, a la Tom Brady. If you're Dak Prescott and you're seeing the superstars that need to be re-signed to stay there, why are you talking about this being a business and not being a businessman who's already made millions of dollars and figuring out a way to get this team back to the promised land? Because it's not going to happen padding your own bank statement. I don't understand why none of these guys are not on the train of what the future of championship dynasties are. And that is taking less, being part of a team. And I know that's crazy talk in a salary-driven current, sports. That's where it is.
Right.
But I think the future for dynasties is understanding how to work with your team to get others paid so you can stay on top. Braylon and yourself and myself, we all think that Dallas is prime for a fall. And I think that Dak, his contract is at the center of all of it.
NFLPA would probably never allow him to take less like we talk. The way we talk is easy. Oh, yeah, take less. But that's why they have a union. They have a union because if he takes less, then the next guy behind him gets less. His goal is to get the most he can get. And then, of course, it trickles up, I should say, from there. Now, Jerry Jones, after he spoke, Jerry Jones says, I'm all in. We're all in here in Dallas. Remember, they haven't been to an NFC championship in almost 30 years. Here's Jerry.
I'm all in. I'm all in. Sometimes being all in means you narrow. You remove the months out here that are in the future. and you narrow it down to where all we're talking about is right now and the next playoff season, and that's it for everybody. We're all in. We're all in. It's all right there. Let's okay. We all got some things out here in the future, another 2 or 3 years on contracts, all that stuff. Let's all get in here. Zero right now in this.
I have no idea what he just said.
It's the same thing he says every year.
Do you have any idea what he just said?
Yeah, he said, I have 10 episodes of my own documentary because I'm that interesting. So listen to me ramble on saying the same stuff I say every year before a Cowgirls loss in the playoffs. I can't stand that, man. I could maybe watch 2 or 3 episodes.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
So what?
I'm just saying, that's an owner that made it into the Hall of Fame. An owner / GM. I know there are other owners in there. George Halas. I can go on and on. I get that. Art Rooney. This guy's in the Hall of Fame. I never in a million years, when he bought the Cowboys, brought Jimmy Johnson in, all of that kind of stuff, I just never thought he was like a Hall of Fame guy. But here he is, man. And you know what? He's the straw that stirs the drink in the NFL. When he sits down at the owners' meetings, he's the poobah. He's the grand poobah. He wears that big hat with the horns on it.
So the Ford family is not in the Hall of Fame for ownership?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I don't think so either. I really hope that this is the start of the fall of this current Cowgirls team. I'm so tired of them.
I mean, fall. They haven't won in 30 years.
Well, but they've been in the playoffs a lot. But, you know, they've been up and down where they've missed the playoffs. I want to see them missing the playoffs this year.
Man,
tired.
who knows?
They would be the Lions if they had one winless season.
That's the one win?
I'm saying if the Cowboys had one winless season, they would be very close to the Lions.
Interesting.
Never thought of it that
But what you
way.
call, also to your point, though, I just really thought about it. If we talk about the Cowboys being on this decline, why would Dak want to take less money? Like,
right.
You would want to be like,
save yourself.
Yeah, like you might as
Every
well be
man
like,
for himself.
yeah, it's like exactly like you like because not every player say I want to go in and win championships, but at the end of the day, every player want to go in, make sure they can get some generational wealth, make sure they family taken care of, make sure they taken care of, lead a game with their health. So it's like if a championship come in that, then they probably like yeah, but for most players, I would probably say even about like 80%, they just care for the money for the most part.
Now, I got through part 3, and I know I'm doing this slow. Part 3 of Receiver last night. I take it easy, a little at a time, because my wife likes to watch.
That's the right way. That's the right way to do
She
it.
falls asleep, so I got to rewatch half the stuff. So I'm like, I'm just going to stop it when she falls asleep. So I hear Justin Jefferson. I like this guy, man. First of all, I think he's the best receiver in football.
He is.
Second of all, I love the relationship he's got with his parents and his family. I just think he's a grounded guy. And he's the highest paid receiver in football, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't he make like $35 million a year? I think he just got paid. Listen to him. Someone asked him, man, we see you in receiver, but you're still living in like a townhouse. And he's got his parents there as well. And he says, I don't need a mansion.
Like everybody's favorite clip is the Detroit game when I was talking a little smack and just playing my ball. But I mean, just for people to really see the inside behind the scenes of how we talk on the game in game-like situations, just the emotions, the competitive spirit. I feel like people actually got to see that with especially that episode.
Still in that house, because I think the biggest reaction I got is, my God, the guy makes so much. It looks like a really little house.
I'm a one person. I ain't got no big family, man. I don't need to be in no $10 million mansion. That's not something that I came from. I grew up with parents that was grateful for what they have, and I was grateful for what I grew up with. So I never grew up having no big old house. So maybe I'll move on to that, maybe not. So I guess we'll find out sooner or later.
Go, JJ.
This is a very timely clip here, because Joel and I have been debating something for about a week, and you guys brought up all the players in the NFC North, and I kind of crowned Amon-Ra as the best receiver, even though I absolutely believe Justin Jefferson being the best receiver in the NFL. Now, my question that Joel and I have been going back for, that I'll pose to all of you guys in the room here: Would you trade Amon-Ra from this Lions team straight up to have Justin Jefferson here? Because personally, myself, I would not. Because I think that the culture of the Lions right now is perfect.
It is.
And if I'm 31 other teams, I'll take that trade, but not the Detroit Lions. How about you?
I just say exactly what you just said. If I'm 31 other teams, I would trade anybody on my team for Justin Jefferson, wide receiver wise. But Amon-Ra St. Brown is the perfect guy for this Detroit Lions team. When they picked him in that 4th round, and he's like, I made it to the 4th round. Oh my God. 313 is calling me. I don't want to pick this phone up. It's the Detroit Lions. I don't want to go there. They're a bunch of losers. And now, to where they are now, and you heard him with his dad and his brother on their podcast. He wouldn't want to be in another place. He would not want to be with another team. And we would not want to have another receiver besides the guys we have here, including Jamison Williams. I wouldn't want a single other person on this team. They are perfect the way they are, and that's the team I'm riding with. Amen.
What about you, James?
I would say I'd say it's an identity difference too. Is I think Amon-Ra is a much better run blocker too, and I think he fits better with what Dan Campbell's trying to do. So I think that's an important aspect. And we've seen when Justin Jefferson doesn't get the ball, what he does during games. So seen him throw his hands up, get frustrated, not getting the football. You know, that's
you blame him. There's no one else on the damn team. I know Jordan Addison's not bad. Hawkins is not bad. All right, you're right.
I'm saying in terms of a demeanor, though, in terms of who he is, I think he fits better into the Detroit culture and what we're trying to do. But I also think his chemistry with Goff's a lot better too, because I think he's a lot better in between the lines versus Jefferson. I think it's more of an outside receiver versus Amon-Ra can play more in the slot as well as on the outside.
Move them chains.
How about you, Pete? You taking Amon-Ra St. Brown on this team, or are you taking Justin Jefferson?
Well, I think the team is built around Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I mean, if you want to add Justin Jefferson, then I would get rid of, I want to say get rid of.
One of the other people.
There's a better question.
He was about to say J-Mo.
Actually, I was going to say J-Mo and Laporta for Justin Jefferson because T.J. Hawkinson coming off of another torn or 2 torn knee ligaments. But no, I honestly I would take Amon-Ra with the Lions. It's built around Amon-Ra. He and Goff have the chemistry, and no matter what Justin Jefferson does in the league, this is Amon-Ra St. Brown's team, his offense. That's the way it goes.
Joel, I take it you're going to take JJ?
So I'm saying, okay, it's easy to say all this from the point of already seeing Amon-Ra on this team for what's this now?
But that's what it is.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, for what it is, 4 years. But I'm saying,
not drafted like the start of this season.
No, that's what I was just about to say. We saying this about Justin Jefferson as a person. We don't really know what he's like as a teammate. We don't know what he's like in the locker room. So I'm not going to speak on that and say that he's this diva, he's this just boisterous personality. I'm not going to say that about him. I'm saying talent-wise, JJ is a player that can be put in any type of system. He's a player that can catch the ball at the sticks, make his own 11-yard gain. He's a player that can go deep down the field and catch it over somebody's head. He's a player that can just take the top off. He's a player that can go across the middle of the field, catch it. You saw him. He caught it across the middle of the field. Kirby Joseph tried to hit him. Kirby Joseph injured himself trying to hit him. So he's a tough in-the-middle receiver.
No doubt.
He makes a spectacular catches. So I'm like, we have to admit he's more talented than Amon-Ra. That's what I'm saying. Like,
are you making the trade, Joel?
Yes.
You are. Okay.
If they called me and was like, hey,
straight up,
we want Amon-Ra, we'll give you JJ, I would be like, bet.
There it is.
I'm saying, you think Justin Jefferson wouldn't be able to fit scheme-wise?
Oh, I think he would absolutely fit fantastically here. I think that he's amazing. I'm not questioning his character. I know I've seen him raise his hand and want the ball a little bit more. I don't really have a big issue with that.
Malik Neighbors said it on
oh yeah, no,
he was like, I get mad when I don't get the ball because he made a good point though. He was like, I put in the work all week, and then for a game plan to be centered around me, then for me to not get the ball, it's like, what were we out there doing then?
I hope Daniel Jones can get him the ball. We'll talk about that. I'm going to ask Dr. Pierce, who's coming on with us next. I'm going to ask him if he would trade straight up Amon-Ra St. Brown for Justin Jefferson. We're also going to talk to him about our kicker, Michael Badgley, out for the year with a literally torn off the bone hamstring. Crazy. And that's bad. Before we go to a quick break, just the guys that have been holding out. Trent Williams in San Francisco is a holdout. CeeDee Lamb holding out in Dallas. The Jets, Hassan Reddick is holding out. He's getting fined $50,000 a day. And the Jets placed him on the injured reserve, not reported list. And today, Lamar Jackson, sick again. I mean, he's been sick for a while, and he skipped practice again today. They're saying they're taking care of him. He's got some sort of illness, and they're going to try to take care of business. Lamar Jackson, stay tuned for more on that.
Yeah, he returned yesterday during practice, and he only made it through a couple of hours, and he looked noticeably tired and wiped. So they're giving it a little extra time, it sounds like.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Then we're going to get Dr. Pierce on. Let's hear from Guardian Alarm, shall we?
What happens when you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house that tells the bad guys one thing?
Stay out.
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. These people have been proven to care, and that technology has been proven to work, so call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Call today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you over to James. Wake up, baby.
Hey, wake up, Woodward. Woodward Sports morning show. Start your day with the gang at Woodward Sports Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Join Kool-Aid, Flannel Sam, Broder, JB, and KG in the sound booth every morning as they cover all of Detroit sports, sports talk, banter, and live fan interaction, all on Detroit's #1 sports network.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Right now, more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss Insurance will make sure that your carrier is not slipping in those extra fees. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today, 313-530-1698, or visit SwissINS.com, Anson.
Dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or other family law issues? That's okay, because Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will absolutely have your back. 10 plus years of experience and 24/7 availability. That's absolutely huge. Scan that QR code that you see right there on the screen or call 248-971-0476 and make sure that you say Woodward Sports sent you, and they will take care of your filing fee. KDK Law, they got your back.
Yes, they do. So does Dr. Jeff S. Pierce. Welcome back to Woodward Sports. Tom Mazaway and the gang here. Anson Wells in for Ryan. I'm here sitting at the big desk.
Guess who?
Braylon, who is on his way to Jersey. He's going to see the Jets and hang out with Aaron Rodgers and Mark Sanchez and the rest of those New York Jets. 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 Let's head on out to our main man, our injury insider.
There he is.
Are you in Jersey? Are you in New York, Dr. Pierce? Where are you today?
I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh,
he loves it down
that's
there.
your second home, Doc.
I know. I'm loving it down here. I'm loving it down here. But I got a special friend here from University of Spine and Sports. He's copying my name, that Michigan Sports and Spine theme, all the way back in Michigan. But he comes from the same kind of cloth, Dr. Elmer Penzone. He's here.
All right.
I'm gonna have him say hi real quick if it's okay
Sure.
with you guys.
Of course.
Come on in.
Come on in, Dr. Elmer.
The reason he's a bigger deal than me is because this guy took on training at a marathon level at medical school. So
Wow.
when I say I'm a little insane with the way I train with my kayaking and stuff like that, he makes me look like I'm doing nothing. So we're out here visiting him, encouraging him to come on to the team of Michigan Sports and Spine. And I told him I'm on this silly show with at Woodward Sports. So he wanted to see what the heck. He thought I was full of it. So.
Hey, Dr. Elmer, I got a question for you. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Sir.
All right.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Did Dr. Pierce tell you about that go-go juice he's on? He injects himself with this go-go juice.
Yeah, the go-go juice. Yeah, I think he's trying to sell me on that right now.
It works, man. Look at him.
I'm doing exosomes.
I'm telling you.
And that because he's a health guy, so he does a similar kind of practice as I do.
That's awesome. Now, you guys both going to watch the Olympics and watch the running. What is your favorite event in the Olympics? Both doctors.
I'll go first. I mean, we're so on the LeBron factor right now. I saw it today. Do we need LeBron to play out of his mind to win gold? And I thought that was a pathetic statement that we're not. Has the world gotten so close to the United States that we have to have the LeBron factor to win gold at the Olympics? We better be still light years ahead of all the other countries, but
we're not, Doc.
They are giving us a run for our money.
Yeah, they caught us. They're catching us.
Yeah, I had heard today that they want to see if they can blow out some of the scores, but obviously they just want to make sure that with the team that they've got, that they can actually just win every game. But I think they were talking about maybe trying to. I think Kevin Durant, KD, was talking about trying to blow it out like 30, 40 point spread.
Hey, Dr. Pierce, on Kevin Durant, he's coming back from his injury. I mean, he's playing a long time. This is a comeback season for him. How long can he last in this Olympics game?
He should last to the end with no problem. We talked about this last week. I mean, I don't know about his toughness. I mean, I don't know about his training. We talk about LeBron. This guy's just a phenom, just fighting through everything. You don't hear about his injuries. Kevin, you're hearing about an injury every other 4 months. So, I love him. I've met him in person. It was great to my son when we met him.
Yep.
He's just a great person, but I just don't know these little nagging injuries. Since the Achilles, he's got to put more commitment into his off-season training and what he's doing. We're gonna have to start showing him that fascia stretch that we show everybody at our house.
He's got those skinny legs like a thoroughbred, Doc. I mean, I look at a thoroughbred racehorse holding up all that weight and throw a little jockey on top of him, and those animals are unbelievable. They're like machines. And Kevin Durant, those skinny legs of his, I don't know how the hell they last as long as they do, jump as high as they do. Fantastic player, but I always worry about him.
When he first came out, I'm buddies with George Gervin. Gervin was his mentor to come out. And that was the reason, because Gervin was so thin and skinny, but he got up as quick as he did. So those two had a lot of talking, a lot to talk about when they first came out. But you're right. I mean, sometimes the anatomy doesn't make sense. Like another guy out there playing for the Pelicans, he made another injury where his body anatomy didn't really line up with what the sport was.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, Zion Williamson. Yeah.
Yeah. So it really plays to it. I mean, especially for messages for young athletes, it's all about that balance. Like, I'm dealing with some young athletes right now. I got 2 athletes in the office right now where they're just powerlifting prematurely on a young body. They're at that 15, 16, 17-year age where if they're overpowering with the muscles, they're creating an imbalance for their ligaments, and they both have these little soft injuries that are keeping them out of playing, and potentially, both of them are going for scholarships. So we got to figure out how to get them balanced. I try to teach them about K-taping and balance and things like that. So we're flipping them over to speed work and stop trying to build up so much bulk. I mean, one's a lineman and another one's a catcher in baseball. So it's just, you're looking at Durant and Zion, who just anatomically are different. But when these kids are training, like right now, there's so many things going on. Do they use creatine? Are they using some supplements? Is there a special secret sauce in their locker room that's not being supervised? There's absolutely. And sometimes they're getting misguided. So I just got to tell them, the speed, the plyometrics, all that kind of stuff is more important than building that bulk up in majority of your sports. Football, you can argue that they need to build that bulk, but that bulk's going to come as they age. You can't run, like I tell you, when you're pregnant, no matter how fast you want it to happen, it's still 9 months. It's the same thing with developing from an adolescent to a young man.
Our injury expert, Dr. Jeff S. Pierce, of course, MichiganSportsAndSpine.com. Anson, your turn.
Doc, we got some bad news here in Lionsville yesterday. Our already suspect kicking game loss. Our incumbent kicker, Michael Badgley. Now, we do have a little bit of breaking news. Andre Schmidt from the UFL, our second kicker from the UFL, will be trying out now. Tell us what a shredded hamstring means to a kicker. What kind of rehab are they going to be looking forward to? And
he did this in practice before practice.
Yeah.
That's how it happened.
What was he doing?
I don't know, but maybe some stretches. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Can you clue us in on what kind of a recovery we're looking at? And I mean, is this guy going to be able to kick again at a high level, Doc?
Yeah, I mean, we say shredded. It's just a generic term. And Dr. Elmer here has given me some information, which we're new to each other. We're talking about the biologics, talking about the PRP, talking about stem cell, talking about the peptides, that secret sauce that we do. The thing is, we got to see the MRI. We got to see if it's a shredded one tendon, it's multiple tendons. What's the integrity of the muscle? The hamstring is a big muscle. As long as we can get healed and the blood out and the swelling out of it, the quicker we get to do that, the quicker he's going to start recovering. But depending on, for a kicker, yeah, his legs are very important, creating that power either in his kicking leg or his planted foot. It doesn't come back. When we say shredded, a pulled hamstring versus a shredded hamstring, I know we're using generic terms, but it means a difference. So there's different grades of tears. Hopefully he's like a 1 or 2. If he's at that 3 or 4 level, as you go up, you're seeing more involvement. It's going to be a longer rehab course. But again, that locker room secret sauce and what we have out there today from our knowledgeable physician team, we should be able to get some recovery. So I can't really answer your question in a time frame until I know exactly what's wrong and how committed he is. But with our kicking game the way it looks, I think we're probably going to be looking for the next kicker for the Detroit Lions.
Well, we got Jake Bates from the UFL, the guy that kicked 3 over 60-yard field goals, including a 62 and a 63-yarder in Ford Field. So we got him now. And who's the new kicker from the UFL?
Andre Schmidt.
All right, so we'll try these guys out and see what happens.
And he had a 61-yarder. He was 4 of 5 from 50-plus and 4 of 5 from 40 to 49.
Doc, we say, I don't think it matters if you have a kicker. You have Dan Campbell. He's going to go for it anyway. Am I right?
4th down, baby.
Let's go.
There we go.
It was fun. It was funny. I was talking to one of my old patients. He was the head coach for Garden City for about 20-some years. And I'm just like, what are you believing in the Lions? He goes, I could just go through the TV and wring Campbell's neck. I'm like, dude, he won games as much as he probably won more games going on 4th down. And the big boys can't get a yard in this league at this time. You don't deserve to kick the field goal. But you got to play to win the game, and you got to play the odds. The game's becoming a game of odds. And I don't know what Campbell's going to do this year. Well, I mean, what do you guys think? Is he going for it on 4th down?
Yeah, I believe he doesn't change who he is. I still believe he's mad that he kicked the field goal at the end of the first half against the 49ers when it was 21-3 and it was 4th and short. He wanted to go for it. I know he did. Because if they went up 28-3, Doc, that's a different game.
So, Doc, that nightmare, do we?
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get that nightmare out of my sight here, but it keeps coming back to me. Hey, I've got a question for you. Just before we had you on, we talked about this receiver show that's on. And Justin Jefferson of the Vikings, you know him, one of the best in the business. And we brought up Amon-Ra St. Brown. They're both in this. If we gave you the choice right now, we're going to make you the GM. Right now, you're the GM of the Lions. And Minnesota calls, and they say, we want St. Brown. We'll give you Jefferson. Are you doing that deal?
No.
My man.
I think St. Brown I think that St. Brown's got more to prove. He's got more heart, more gut. Does Jefferson have more talent? Yeah. I mean, I'll be careful when I say that because if I meet St. Brown, I want to be put in that spot. But I'm staying with St. Brown. I think he's got the talent, he's got the gut, he's got the heart, and he's got that locker room. They rile up around him.
They do.
I mean, what are you going for?
No,
you making
we
the
picked.
trade?
Me and Anson picked St. Brown. Our friend Joel from Michigan State says he would take that Jefferson deal in a split second.
31 other teams.
Everybody's got talent. It's coming down to heart and gut.
Yep.
You brought up Lamar Jackson. I mean, yeah. I mean, he's got another injury. I'm not gonna say a soft injury. He's got another injury, but does he have the heart to win the Super Bowl? I don't know.
Facts. That's a fact.
Okay, how about you trade Lamar for golf? Who are you taking?
Ooh, that's a good thing as well. I mean, in a second, I would say I'm taking Lamar Jackson. But like you said, does he have the guts? He's won one playoff game. One.
Yeah.
Is it the right fit? And
right.
We mentioned 31 other teams trade their best wide receiver for JJ. But the fit for Amon-Ra here, what he means to that locker room, what he means on third down, the comfort level that he has with Jared Goff, I'm not moving him for the best wide receiver in the league. He's still a top 5 guy, but the fit is what matters to me.
Yeah, I mean, they have a rhythm. Right now, the Lions have a rhythm. Don't mess with it too much. You got to add the few pieces. Your GM, they've done well. I'm like the coach from Garden City is. He was he wasn't that optimistic. I mean, I'm more optimistic, and I'm typically not for the Lions. I just think keeping that unit together. They fought through the battles together. They've been in the battlefield together. Keeping that team together, keeping the locker room mentality together. Like you said, we're still going for it on fourth down. I think that plays a larger role than adding. That's a big shift. You got a character issue. I think Jefferson's got great character though, but you know what you got in St. Brown. I mean, I think he had a career year. He's not as talented, but I think his gut and heart and his work ethic makes up for it tenfold.
We're keeping you, Doc. We're going to keep you. Tell Dr. Elmer we said thanks for having us. Thanks for coming on with us. You be good in Knoxville. Enjoy yourself. We'll see you next week, Doc. Have a great weekend.
For any of our listeners in Knoxville, he's available.
Give him his name again. Give his name again.
L Pinzon, Iron Doc L Pinzon, Pinzon.
The guy's
All
done
right.
25 Ironman.
God bless you.
Wow.
God bless you.
Okay.
Thanks,
All right,
guys.
good luck to the Lions this year.
Thank you, man. We
Thank
need
you,
it.
sir.
Good luck to the Titans as well. Dr. Jeff Pierce, of course, from Michigan, sportsandspine.com. Give him a call, 248-426-9944. That kind of brings us to the end of our little show here this week. It's been a fun week. We're going to do it again next week, God willing. Knock on wood. Anson, have a great weekend.
Thank you, brother. You as well.
Powerneck, enjoy yourself. Thanks for coming on. Joel, you be a good boy. And you too, Pete. Stay out of trouble.
No.
Tigers and Twins, get on down there. We need you.
You have a good weekend too, Maz.
We need a sweep, baby. Tigers and Twins, let's go and make that trade, Tigers. Call the Orioles right now and make that trade. For all the guys here, including Braylon Edwards, Ryan Ermanni, I want to say thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. It's Tom Mazaway, Woodward Sports. We'll see you next week, guys.